Hello and welcome to Halloween month. This time I'm doing an alien from the movie Aliens. Now I spray painted this with black primer and I'm using Phthalo Blue Extra Dark to go over everything but her teeth. Now she's a really quick one to do, so I haven't slowed down a lot because a lot of it is repetitive, but she was quick and fun to do. And here I am doing another layer of the Phthalo Blue Extra Dark. Now I didn't particularly want her blue, but I wanted a subtle blue tint to her because looking at the reference pictures, and there are lots of different types of aliens. You've got the predator alien, you've got the grey alien, you've got the black alien, you've got the original one. I saw one that had a bit of a blue tint to it and I liked it, so that's the one I decided to do. And so because I painted her black, the first few layers are just me doing the Phthalo Blue Extra Dark and nothing different, just because I wanted that tint in there. If you painted her white, it will be different. And this is just another layer of the Phthalo Blue Extra Dark, and so is the next layer. So now using the natural grey extra dark, I'm just going to go over the wrinkles, or whatever they are, the things on the top of his mouth and the side of his mouth, because I want them to be a lot lighter. And then using Phthalo Blue Extra Dark again, I do another layer, but I don't go over the grey areas. So now using the natural grey, I start to go over those wrinkly things on the side of his mouth, because the natural grey extra dark wasn't quite light enough because I painted him black. But if you paint him white to begin with, then the natural grey extra dark should look good. I just want to say I'm not an expert, I don't consider myself an artist or anything like that. I just try things, and if it doesn't work then I go over it again. I just thought I would film things and tell people how I did them. I also used the natural grey on the inside of his mouth. They're the little mouthy teeth things that come out. And now I'm using black to go in the shadows in between the wrinkle side mouth pieces. Now this little blue brush here, this one here, is my little trusty one that I get into the teeny tiny little gaps in between a lot of things. It basically has no brush left on it, but it is really great for getting in between the small spots. And also I do the teeth here, but then later on I realize that I want the teeth to be painted white, so I paint them white and just do the shadows again. And as I'm sure you guessed, it's Phthalo Blue Extra Dark again for the head and the bottom. And just using black to try and get another layer of black in between the creases before I have to do another fixative layer. And don't forget to do under his lip where the shadows will be. And this layer is just an exact repeat of what I've just done. I'm using natural grey to go over the tops, so where the highlights would be on those mouth wrinkles, and then black to go in between the mouth wrinkles, and Phthalo Blue Extra Dark to go on the top and the bottom. And don't forget to do his little mouth thingy on the inside. And after I've sprayed it with fixative, I just do the exact same again, the natural grey, the Phthalo Blue Extra Dark and the black, and then I add a little bit of white at the end on the top of the natural grey just to make it a little bit more brighter on some of the highlights. I haven't slowed this one down as much as I usually do in the instructional one, because it's very simple, it's very basic, and it's very repetitive. It is just layers upon layers upon layers, and sometimes I think that I haven't done enough layers, but I get a little bored and so I give up. But most of these things are just layers and then the fixative and then more layers, because the fixative dulls the colours, so you have to keep adding it, but you'll eventually get there and it does eventually look good. And always have a reference picture or a really good idea in your head, but sometimes your brain can trick you. So I always have a reference picture and I go by that reference picture. I haven't slowed this one down at all, but it is exactly the same as what I've just done, just an exact repeat. You just have to keep going over and over and over until you get the look that you want, and sometimes it happens almost immediately, but sometimes it takes quite a few layers, and it sounds boring, but it's not. It's actually quite fun, and I do enjoy doing it. And there she is, almost all done, but I decided to go over her teeth with white acrylic paint and then shade them with black and grey like I have other teeth. So like I said before, I just try things, and then if I look at it and at the end product I don't like it, I'll change it. So I make mistakes, I fix the mistakes, I do things I don't like, I fix them. So that's what this is. I didn't like how dull the teeth were. And so I just add some more white to the highlights, or actually add white to the highlights, and I go around his lip here too because that will be highlighted. And exactly like I did before, I put black in between the white highlights just to make them all pop. Don't forget to put the black and the highlights on his little mouth thingy as well. And I'm using black here to go in between the teeth because there's always darkness in between teeth, and also on the very bottom of the teeth. And now with Ultramarine Blue, I add just a light layer on the parts where I did the Phthalo Blue Extra Dark, just to try and make it a little bit brighter on this last layer. And now it's time for the UV resin that I put all over everywhere except the teeth. Now this is for her drill. It could be a little bit hard to see, but what I've got is some fishing line, and I've just cut it as long as I want the drill to be. And I'm just putting UV resin on it, and I have a UV resin pen torch light there, and I dry it as it drips down so that it starts to look like drill. And I just do that for about 4 or 5 of the drill thingies. just repeating what I've just done, and I try to get it to drip a little bit so I get a natural drip down the bottom, but I just keep repeating it until I like what it looks like, and then I get another one and do it. Now this part here is sticking the drill fishing line wire to her mouth. I just get a bit of UV resin and then I put the fishing wire drill on it, and then I dry it with the UV pen light, and if I want to I can add some more drill to it that way. And I just repeat it with all the fishing line drill that I have. And here I decide I want more drill on her mouth, so I just actually attach the fishing line to the mouth with the resin and then add the resin while it's already attached. I just thought I'd try that, and it worked too. If you're going to do it this way, you have to be quick with that UV pen light, otherwise your resin might get out of control and go the wrong way. And there she is, a very quick and easy but repetitive alien from the movie Aliens.